public. Ed Mrzwinski. Ed, someone will bring you a microphone.
Thank you, Zixta and the CFPB. I'm Ed Mrzwinski. I'm with the U.S. Public Interest Research Group and also Americans for Financial Reform. I've been investigating the payday lending industry for over 20 years, and many states have done yeoman work trying to stop this industry and other high-cost lenders. It's like a game of whack-a-mole. That's why it's critical that the CFPB has put out a comprehensive platform. We urge you to make it as tight as possible, close all the loopholes, and end this nightmare for consumers. And I also want to point out, the idea of the CFPB needs no defense, only more defenders. So I encourage people to look at the CFPB website and find out all the good things it can do for you.
Thank you, Mr. Mrzwinski. Marsha Gregory.
Hi, my name is Marsha Gregory. I am an employee of Advance America. Proud to say I've been there for 13 years. And what I am hearing from our customers is that they come to us because they do need money for emergencies, car repairs, sickness due to maybe not being able to work. Also, they have car service problems, car breakdown anytime on the way to work, so they need to come to us to get money. For every income bracket, we have a customer. High income, low income. Also, we have access to the credit. Customers say they want to have access to credit when a need arises. They also are hard workers, and they deserve to make their own choices on where they go to get money for their needs.
Thank you, Ms. Gregory. Dwayne Alexander. Dwayne Alexander. Virginia Murray.
Hello, my name is Virginia Murray, and I have worked in this industry for about 11 years. And during my time here, I've helped thousands of customers with their short-term financial needs. I have countless stories of people that need and appreciate our services. Our customers choose, and the key word is choose, us for a variety of different reasons. We serve customers from all walks of life, from single mothers to small business owners, and we help all of them. I would like you all to consider the importance of our services the industry offers, and what would happen to these people if we didn't have access to credit that we offer. Sometimes regulation has unintended consequences, and I'd like to thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Murray. Lauren Saunders. Lauren Saunders.
Thank you. Lauren Saunders, I'm with the National Consumer Law Center. Payday loans claim to help consumers who are desperate for money to make ends meet, but at the end of the day, they take money that people desperately need to meet their family's needs and put them into a cycle of debt. The CFPB's proposal is a common sense one. All responsible lenders must evaluate borrowers and design their loans so that they are affordable, that people can afford to repay them while meeting their other expenses and not getting into a cycle of debt. I think a proposal such as that will result in better choices for consumers. I also applaud the Bureau for taking a broad approach and not limiting to traditional two-week payday loans. But despite the strong fundamentals of the rule, I'm concerned about the either-or, prevent or protect approach. We need both to protect borrowers, and we can't have a business model that relies on back-to-back loans, fails to ensure that borrowers have money for expenses, or permits high default rates, bounce checks, and other indicators that people are having trouble and cannot afford their loans.
Thank you, Ms.
forward,
Saunders.
I appreciate taking attention to that. Thank you.
Anna Varney.
Hi, I'm Anna Varney. I work for approved cash advance in Martinsville, Virginia, and I now have 255 open payday loans to date. 100 at my store, 100 of them are on fixed income. These clients need medicine, they need doctor care visits. Others have been turned down from other lending companies due to credit ratings. Other lending companies require credit checks or board meetings to grant them a small loan, which can start at $1,000 up to $3,500. This can make for a much longer loan length that my client would like, and borrowing from friends and family may not be an option. We are their last resort. Payday lending offers consumers a quick and easy solution to what seems to be the end of the world for them on that day. They get their money, they have resolve, they can go on for the day. We lend amounts based on percentages of their income, but we do sit down with them, we talk with them, we say, what is your urgency today, what do you need? We go over so many things with them, we get to know our clients. We don't just give them whatever they want and feel that they can't afford it. We want them to be able to come back, we want them to go ahead and refer people and send people in instead of coming in repetitively like you mentioned. So I'm proud to work with them. Thank you.
Marco Grimaldo. Marco Grimaldo.
Thank you. I'm Marco Grimaldo with the Virginia Interfaith Center for Public Policy. Time and again, many of our most sacred scriptures caution against usury. If one of your countrymen becomes poor and is unable to support himself among you, help him as you would an alien or a temporary resident, so that he can continue to live among you. Do not take interest of any kind from him, but fear your God, so that your countrymen may continue to live among you. You must not lend him money at interest or sell him the food at a profit. This chapter from Leviticus reminds us that we have a responsibility to be in right relationship with our community and a responsibility to care for the most vulnerable among us. I'm here representing the Virginia Interfaith Center for Public Policy, the oldest faith-based advocacy organization in Virginia, and across our many faith traditions, our members, churches, and communities, there is clear agreement that payday, car title, and internet loans are bad for Virginia. Locally, faith groups are often called upon to help families that can no longer make ends meet and need help to get out from under crippling debt. Payday loans that start out with a small initial loan can cost thousands more, and interest quickly mounts to 300% or more.
Thank you, Mr. Grimaldo. Tammy Adams.
Hello, my name is Tammy Adams and I work for Check City. And here at Check City we do give out payday loans, and when customers come in, they come in with a crisis, and we soon, we tell them that they're welcome. We go over all the rules and regulations with them, and we do tell them that it is a short-term loan, and we give them 45 plus days to pay back. And I have a couple of testimonies in here. One of my customers, he came in, his car broke down. He did indeed go to his bank, and his bank, ran a credit check on him, and he did not pass the credit check. So, I'm like, well, you came to the right place. And indeed, we did offer him a short loan, $300, interest rate $57, 45 plus days to pay back. He was happy. He said, he thanked me. He was like, I'm so thankful that you guys are here. Another testimony. A young lady came in and she needed money.
Thank you, Ms. Adams. We'd be happy to take that in
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Stephen Reeves.
My name is Stephen Reeves, and I serve as the coordinator of partnerships and advocacy for the Cooperative Baptist Fellowship, a network of 1,800 churches, including 350 here in Virginia. Our churches and pastors have seen firsthand the consequences of payday and auto title lending in their congregations and communities. They have used their benevolence funds to aid neighbors trapped in the cycle of debt, proven to be so central to this business model. They've offered financial education classes, and some have worked to develop alternative loan models. They've also been outspoken advocates for reform in states across the country, including Kentucky, Louisiana, Alabama, Missouri, and Texas. I know our folks will be encouraged with the outline of possible regulations released here today. I hope giving lenders a choice as to which rules to follow does not prove problematic given their notorious ability to creatively avoid regulation and exploit loopholes. I am convinced these proposals represent a significant step forward for borrowers. If proposed rules are strictly enforced and operate as intended, it will certainly represent a major improvement over current practices in so many states.
Thank you,
Usury is
Mr.
immoral.
Reeves. Alicia Burke. Alicia Burke.
Elisha Burke. I'm representing the Baptist General Convention of Virginia. Our 900 churches are all supporting the CFPB's effort to limit what these companies can do. As having so many churches, we are acutely aware of the other side that maybe you don't see. You don't see the increase in having to collect food and to feed people who are not homeless but working and had to pay that loan. You don't see those who have lost a car, now they've lost a job, they come to the church because they desperately need help. So you see some people paying, but you don't know what it took to get there. So the way it is currently is a great burden on the entire community. And whereas we are there to serve, we know that it doesn't have to be that way. So you need to be more cognizant of the true damage that is done. Having a need does not necessitate giving a person a leaky lifeboat.
Thank you, Mr. Burke. John Martinez. John Martinez.
My name is John Martinez. I represent Americash Loans. We're concerned that the regulatory body does not adequately understand the small consumer lending market and the effect that this proposed rulemaking will have could result in the loss of jobs as legitimate businesses are forced to close their doors and consumers are forced to look at unlicensed lenders. We operate in Illinois where we have a state database. That state database limits customers to 2 loans. It also establishes income verification that requires the lender to establish the customer's ability to repay. In Illinois, the Attorney General, along with the regulatory bodies, the lenders, and the consumers work together to provide credit. We want to continue to support regulation. We want to continue to support the state databases. And most importantly, we want to continue to support our customers when they need credit.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Thomasine Wilson. Thomasine Wilson.
Thomasine Wilson. I'm on the State Governing Board of Virginia Organizing, and we're an organization that we've been working with the legislators for the past 9 years to try to pass laws that would stop people from being able to get these type of loans with these astronomical charges. And as a consumer, I had one of these loans when it initially got into Virginia, and it started about $200. But over a period of time, the fees started to add up because it was an emergency. I thought it was going to be a couple of weeks and I pay it back, but it ended up being almost 2 years with bank fees because my bank wouldn't give me a loan, and I've had a bank account for 20 years, but I couldn't get anything from that bank. And I think it's just outrageous that I have to pay such a high cost of the percentage rate on that loan. And it should not have been $500-some for $200. But like I said, the bank fees is the percentage of increase in the rate of the percentage of increase on the account. But I end up paying $579. But most people that I know, it cost them thousands of dollars. Mine was just $579. It was 2 years, but that was too long for such a short-term loan. And I suggest that anyone that doesn't have one, don't get one. But if our institutions that we have our finances in will give us a loan, we don't have to go to these type of facilities to get a loan.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Michelle Hash.
Thank you. Michelle Hash, Advance America. Just want to tell you, in my early 20s as a single parent, there were times when my finances fell short of meeting the needs for my family. And fortunately for me, I do have a great support system and a family that I could have called, but I chose not to. I'm independent. I have too much pride. I wanted to take care of my business myself. So I was very fortunate that I had access to Payday lending to cover those expenses at that time. I just want to say, as an employee of 10 plus years in this industry, that I'm proud of what I do and the service that we provide. We do our very best to ensure that our customers understand the terms of the loan and the expectations and have the ability to pay back. These customers come to us because they don't want to ask somebody else for help. They're our neighbors, our children's teachers, our fellow church members. These people in this room with these big yellow stickers on are here not only to support their families and their jobs, but they're also too very proud of what they do and the service that they provide. They're talking to these customers every day. And I'm sorry.
Thank you, Ms. Hesh.
Thank you.
John Copenhaver. John Copenhaver.
Yes. John Copenhaver, United Methodist Clergy, former president of the Valley Interfaith Council in Winchester, Virginia. Within a mile of my home in Winchester, Virginia, there are 8 predatory lenders. And that's not counting the many others in our community. Why so many, you might ask? Winchester is the northernmost city in Virginia. Desperate and poorly informed people come to Winchester from eastern West Virginia and from western Maryland. They're attracted from states with laws protecting them from predatory financial practices by the lure, by the honey of quick cash, and are trapped like flies on flypaper. 4 out of our neighboring states do not allow car title loans. North Carolina, West Virginia, Kentucky, Maryland. It's past time for Virginia to protect our most vulnerable citizens. I drove here 3 hours at my own expense and time to testify on behalf of the poor and the vulnerable. I know there are many others who've done the same. I wonder how many people speaking and clapping for these loans are employed by the lending institutions.
Thank you, Mr. Copenhagen. Catherine Lucas McKay. Catherine Lucas McKay.
The last time that I was in a Payday storefront, a friendly employee was proactively calling a borrower to say, you know, in just 2 days you're eligible for a rollover, so you might want to come in. While that is great customer service in one way, the debt trap is real. And for financially vulnerable Americans to have a shot at stability, we have to end it. My organization, the Corporation for Enterprise Development, commends the Bureau on many of the strong elements of the framework that it has released, especially provisions related to check holding, mandatory ACH, and limiting withdrawal attempts. We urge the Bureau, however, to strengthen the ability to repay provisions in the proposed rule when it is available, and also encourage the Bureau to address the online lenders and how those lenders follow state laws. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McKay. Senta Sledge.
In every industry, there are gray areas or topics that are constantly the seed of heated debates, no matter what area of business that you look at. Short-term loans can actually be very helpful out of a tremendous financial time of need. I've been employed with our company for 13 years, Check City. It is my passion to assist our customers in whatever the financial situation is that they may be facing at that time. We have nothing but great feedback from our customers about how happy they were that they could come take out a small loan that a bank would not assist them with.
Thank you, Ms. Sledge. Keita Johnson. Keita Johnson.
Good afternoon. My name is Keita Johnson, and I started off with a $300 loan from Loan Max Title Loan, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to pay it back in the time frame that I initially thought I would. And over a period of time, they took the vehicle, and from a $300 loan, I just received a letter from them a couple of months ago saying that I have an outstanding balance with them for $5,600 some odd dollars from a $300 loan. And I also received phone calls for somebody who posed as a lawyer or whoever he was, stating that criminal charges would be put against me for fraud. I mean, I just don't know what to do at this point. So I wouldn't urge anybody to go to any of these title loan places or any other loans to go get a loan out of desperation, because for me, desperation turned into a debt. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Anita Cromwell.
Good afternoon. I'm sorry. Good afternoon. My name is Anita Cromwell, and I'm a branch manager at the Lone Store in Virginia Beach, Virginia. I like to chime in on a personal level, and I like to talk about pride, okay? I like to talk about how my employees and I have pride in helping customers who otherwise may be facing more dire circumstances. That pride is generated by the positive feedback we get from our grateful customers who appreciate having solutions to help them save money, make ends meet, and accomplish their financial goals. I know because I used to be a customer. A short-term loan helped me when I once fell into a sudden financial situation. Many of my customers are average people just like myself, okay? And I have a story about a gentleman who came into my office who recently had lost some hours at work due to our recent snowstorms in the area. We made him feel comfortable. When he came back to repay his loan, he expressed to us the gratitude that he felt knowing that we made the process easy for him. And he said that he was happy that he had a place to come to.
Thank you, Ms. Cromwell. Carlene McNulty.
Thank you. My name is Carlene McNulty. I'm an attorney with the North Carolina Justice Center, a nonprofit in Raleigh. I've been a consumer attorney for over 30 years and have represented countless consumers trapped in payday lending loans. Thankfully, I practice in a state where our leaders recognize payday's harmful effects and have banned the practice outright. Payday lending has been illegal in North Carolina for over a decade, and we'd like to keep it that way. We have no need for triple-digit interest rates in North Carolina. We don't want or need any loans made to consumers who can't afford to repay them. And we're worried that your proposal in its current form is going to be used as a seal of approval for payday lenders whose lobbyists are lining the halls of the General Assembly, probably as we speak. We urge you not to sanction, either explicitly or implicitly, any high-cost, unaffordable loan product. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McNulty. John Weston.
Thank you. My name is John Weston. I'm with Integrity Funding. We're a small consumer lender. We've got about 73 employees, and we are able to provide small loans to customers when they have these short-term needs. It's something that, several people mentioned, hey, somebody tried to go to the bank, they couldn't go to the bank and get it. We were able to help them. Our goal is to help the consumer, not to trap them in some kind of cycle of debt. We've got 73 employees. We've got another 700 storefronts that we work with making our loans. We've got all these people that actually rely on us for their livelihood in addition to the consumer that needs the funds. We urge the Bureau not to do anything that will restrict that credit. because otherwise you're going to hurt the financial livelihood of a lot of people.
Thank you, Mr. Weston. Michael de los Santos. Michael de los Santos. Stephen Kundrat.
Hi, my name is Stephen Kundrat. I'm District Manager for the Richmond market for F&L Marketing. Our company operates 19 locations in Virginia, and we've been in business for over 15 years. We started offering payday loans when they were regulated here in 2002, and right now we currently provide payday and installment loans. The 2008 regulation was extremely rough on our company. As a direct effect of this regulation, F&L Marketing lost over $1 million in revenue the first year. We had to close 20% of our stores, which resulted in the loss of many jobs. Many of these jobs that were lost were working mothers trying to support their children. Our associates who were lucky or fortunate enough to not lose their jobs, we weren't able to offer a raise for them for over 2 years due to this massive loss of revenue. To this day, I firmly believe that the Virginia lawmakers didn't have any idea what this destruction of the 2000 regulation had on their constituents or to our state's small businesses. Furthermore, I don't think the Virginia lawmakers understand our business and the services we provide to our customers.
Thank you, Mr. Kundrat. Barbara Williams.
Hello, my name is Barbara Williams. I'm an employee of a company that provides payday and title loans, and I know we are a breath of fresh air to the customers that come to us in desperation. I see the tears, I see the sadness, I see the misery on their face when they come in explaining their stories of eviction, sickness, death, the inability to pay mortgages and rent, and say, I've been to everyone trying to get assistance, and it can get no help. And I'm happy to know that we are there to help them in their need of desperation at that time. And here are a few letters that they wrote for the ones who were not able to come in. They dropped them off, saying we weren't able to make it there because we had to work. But there were situations where one lady had to retire to take care of her sick husband, who eventually passed. Now she had to come back to us years later to get money to bury him. These are people that really need help. I had another lady that wrote a letter saying that she needed to purchase heating oil for her home for the winter. One single working lady said that she had a persisting medical condition where she needed to constantly buy medication that her insurance company would not even approve.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. We'd be happy to take your letters.
Thank you.
Jay Brown. Jay Brown. Michael Bacon. Michael Bacon. Yolanda Walker.
Hi, my name is Yolanda Walker. I'm with Advance America. I've been employed there for 9 years. I'm going to tell you a story. A lady came into my store with three children, ranging from 5 to 14. She told me she had lost her husband and just lost her son, was now taking care of her kids. We did a loan for her because she was turned around from everywhere else. Now, I'm going to tell you that story was 3 years ago. She hasn't been in our store since to do a payday loan, but she was there to send money to her daughter that's now in college. And what stood out to me is she said, I'm glad you was there when I needed you. I was also a customer at Advance America before I worked there. And I haven't been to a payday loan company since then, but if I need them, I'm glad to know that they're there.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. Curtis Johnson. Curtis Johnson. Scotty Hulley.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Scott
Advance America. Very quickly, during my tenure at Advance America, I've had the opportunity, my managers often tell me of stories about the customers that come in, and I bear witness to a lot of good that our company does for our community. My center managers like Yolanda regularly, again, tell me stories about how we're able to meet the needs of our customers. We are a staple in the community, and we're a bridge to security and financial peace of mind.
Thank you, Mr. Hawley. Alexis Goldstein.
Hi, I'm Alexis Goldstein with the other 98%, and I want to read you a quote from former Idaho Representative Walt Minnick that he gave to the radio show This American Life. Quote, "I had some meetings I was pretty uncomfortable at with the payday loan kind of lender. Some folks in that industry were a little unsavory," end quote. Walt Minnick now lobbies for Lisa McGreevy's organization, the Online Lenders Alliance. The payday lending industry is an industry that knows how to lobby, and they know how to buy off even people who were previously critical of them. I urge the Bureau to write strong rules because I know you are up against lots and lots of money. The Online Lenders Alliance paid Minnick's firm, the Majority Group, $200,000 in 2014 to reverse his position where he was previously critical of the industry. One other point I want to make, the industry says we don't need new regulations, that they're treating their customers well. But we've heard this story before. When the financial industry lobbied against the CARD Act, they said they didn't need it, that it was going to lead to lost profits for their industry. But it turns out that this regulation actually helped the industry because the common sense reforms reduced delinquency and actually made their industry more profitable.
Thank you, Ms. Goldstein. Lana Garner.
Hi, Lana Garner, District Manager for Allied Cash Advance. I can say I'm very proud to work at this company because I see what we do every single day. We change lives. Prior to working for Allied, I worked at a major bank where I saw customers come in and day out crying because we charged them $170 for a cup of coffee. Where do those customers go? They come to me now. Every day we change lives. I couldn't say that before. I was putting people in financial hardships, where now I take them out of those financial hardships. So I hope that you guys take what you hear today and realize that we're not here to put people in situations. We're here to help people out of those situations. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gardner. Reverend Sakina Hamlin. Sakina Hamlin.
Thank you very much. I am very grateful to represent 12 national denominations and 8 state ecumenical councils as we stand to eradicate poverty and to promote economic justice and economic development. What we have seen in the organization I lead, the Ecumenical Poverty Initiative, is that we have seen in multiple states the payday lending industry actually target and aggressively market to communities of color, particularly in denominations of color, so that they will have their products there as opposed to white counterparts. What our pastors have told me is that they are those that had to hold the hands of people when they themselves can't provide food for their children because they're in a cycle of debt. This we know and we testify to as Christians. We also do work as it relates to child hunger. And we would never go to any member of Congress saying to them, if the child is food insecure, please give them poisonous food. And so we ask even right now that CFPB would not continue this practice of giving poisonous food to the children and families that make up our faith communities. Thank you,
Ms. Reverend Hamlin. Alicia Brown. Alicia Brown.
Hi, I'm the compliance officer for a payday title loans installment loan lender. We are in multiple states, so obviously have a pretty strict compliance program in place. And with that, I have to work with my state regulators. And I've heard it mentioned here a couple of times about how, they're going to oversee us and what it's going to cause to the different states. If the rules that you wrote or put out this morning are enacted, it's going to cause mass chaos. But working with my state regulators, they understand what our product is, what we need per state, what we can do in each state. I really don't understand what it is that you feel, the CFPB feels the state is not doing to protect the consumers and to oversee us, where you feel that you need to rewrite, the practices that they have in place. It doesn't make sense to me. And then, if you feel that, access to credit needs to be restricted, why is it that you do not use the funds that the CFPB has to go after those lenders that are not legal, are not regulated? Because I feel that my state regulators are on top of me.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Kathy Nelson. Kathy Nelson.
Thank you very much. My name is Kathy Nelson. I'm the director of Navy and Marine Corps Relief Society in Norfolk, Virginia. We're a nonprofit that provides interest-free loans and grants to active and retired service members and their families. And despite the protections of the Military Lending Act, we continue to see the impacts of many of the high-interest products that have been referenced here today. Terms and conditions of these products are not always sufficiently obvious until after the commitment has been made, and repayment of these products are often prioritized ahead of other obligations, causing additional fees and expenses and the inability to pay those critical expenses, including basic living expenses. Any formula must include the ability to repay, and we appreciate the opportunity to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nelson. Tom Domanowski. Tom Domanowski. Todd Davidson.
Back up. Hello, my name is Tom Domanowski. As a legal aid lawyer in Prince Edward County, I started helping victims of predatory lending in Virginia in 1993. When Virginia started to regulate these dangerous products, the industry response was mandatory binding arbitration clauses. Now, instead of these dirty practices exposed to the sanitizing light of our justice system, unlawful practices go unchecked by being shunted into a private dispute resolution system with an inherent bias in favor of repeat players. As an example, several years ago, Juridical Solutions, which is a Virginia arbitration provider full of retired Virginia state judges, ruled against a title lender in one of my arbitrations. Since then, none of the industry has ever allowed them to act as an arbitrator in any of our cases. Additionally, most of my clients got into these bad products because of abusive debt collection practices or unlawful landlord threats of lockouts or utility cutoffs. They didn't know they had better options than getting trapped in the cycle of debt. Finally, we need a common definition of a failed payday loan. The industry says it provides short-term loans. It should be measured that way.
Todd Davidson. Todd Davidson. Brian Wise.
First of all, Director Cordray, congratulations on your work over the last couple of years creating one of the most influential and powerful agencies that this country has ever seen. So kudos to you for that. Many of us consumer advocates, I work for the U.S. Consumer Coalition, many of us consumer advocates were hopeful that the agency would do what it said it was going to do and go after consumer fraud. Unfortunately, this rule proves that the agency is more interested in going after the consumers that use these products and protecting them from themselves rather than protecting them from fraud. And let me just say one thing. You have Mr. Antonakis up there and you have Mr. Calhoun on your panel. We all know with a little bit of research why this rule is being put in place. We know that it's to increase the market share of Martinique's and the Self-Help Enterprises group of organizations. And to deny that, I think you would be lying. Is that correct, Mr. Antonakis?
Thank you, Mr. Weiss. Joe Valenti.
Thank you. you. My name is Joe Valenti. I'm with the Center for American Progress in Washington, D.C. I'm also an Alexandria, Virginia resident, so I'm very glad you held the hearing here in Richmond today. Today's announcement marks an important first step to better protect economically vulnerable Americans. And consumers looking to take out loans to meet financial shortfalls deserve the assurance that the products they're using will not leave them in a deeper financial hole. I think this proposed rule has many strengths. Ability to repay is a key provision of responsible lending. I do have some concerns about the proposed safe harbor. I'm not sure that it goes far enough. And I'm also concerned about how the proposed rule would interact with states such as New York that have tough and effective payday loan protections already in law. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Valenti. Thomas Lasserre Jr.
Thank you. My name is Tom Lasserre, former president of the Virginia Short-Term Loan Association. The association was made up of both small and large. Personally, I own several payday loan stores here in Virginia and employed nearly 40 employees. We offered benefits, healthcare benefits to all employees. As a result of the overreaching government regulations, both the association and my company had to close. As a small lender, we had to consider ability to repay. We were responsible lenders. We didn't have unlimited financial resources. If we loaned money to people who could not repay the loans, we would no longer be in business. The American consumer needs viable options for credit. The proposals issued today by the Bureau will limit and or eliminate the credit options. I wanted to speak today as a representative of small business owners.
Thank you, Mr. Lasserre. Kathy Farlex. Kathy Farlex.
Hi, my name is Kathy Farlex. How she was going to provide Christmas for her family. Never being in a money service business, not knowing what to expect, we walked her through the process, made sure she understood the contract, the due dates, and her payment schedule. We're able to offer her a loan and meet her needs. Thanking us for being there to service her and meet her needs, the last comment she made is that she's glad that we were here to serve her needs and that she couldn't walk into her own bank and get a small loan this quick and easy.
Thank you, Ms. Farley. LaRousse Gums. LaRousse Gums. We'd be happy to take your testimony.
Good afternoon. My name is Lance Gums. I'm the Executive Director of the Native American Financial Services Association. We represent 20 plus tribes across the country that are involved in short-term lending. Under the Dodd-Frank Act, tribes are equal to states in the co-regulatory process of financial services. And I just want to say that we look forward to working with the CFPB as we go forward on this rulemaking process. There are 70 million people in this country who are unbanked or underbanked, and we intend to serve that need. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gums. Jason Crumbine.
Director, my name is Jason Crumbine. I'm a local attorney, and I wanted to talk about people just like the young lady who had experienced the recent loan that had turned from a $300 loan into a $5,000 loan. One of the things that I see in my practice is that people who engage in payday lending have a tendency to enter into the financial disaster of a bankruptcy. And this is a horrible outcome for virtually everyone in the financial field, from the payday lenders up to the mortgage industry and the car lending. credit cards, everyone is suffering a disaster. The other thing that is a continuing problem for these people is that after they have entered into these loans, they continue to get calls, sometimes on paid loans, from collectors who are threatening jail. They're calling from entities that don't exist, threatening actions that aren't even actual crimes. This needs to be stopped.
Thank you, Mr. Crumbine. Miss Shirley? We only got a first name. Miss Shirley?
Hello, everyone. My name is Shirley. I was on my job for 46 years of service with the state, but that's irrelevant. I just want to let someone know the payday loan, title loan, and any other kind of loan that you can get, where you don't have to worry about going into a bank and they telling you 600 and all this about a credit report, when you done did 50 years and 30 years on paying a mortgage. What do you think about that? When everything was excellent and everything was paid, nobody get the credit. I have a cousin, if it weren't for a payday loan, she'd be dead. That's right, it's taking care of her chemo, took care of my best friend's foreclosure. Where was the bank at then? And that young lady did 30 years for the state. When you got to go into a bank and you got to hear about your credit, what about my credit and their credit? And I thank God. But I just want to let everybody know, I think it's the greatest thing that could have ever happened to help that need after.
Thank you, Miss Shirley. Reverend Charles Swadley. Charles Swadley.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Charles Swadley. I'm a United Methodist clergy. I'm chair of the Commission on Interfaith Relations for the Virginia Council of Churches. I've served churches for 36 years, and I can recall with great clarity the people that came to my office on many occasions, especially during that recessionary time. It was so bad. We gave out $20,000 from our church to different people. But we had people come into the church who'd gotten hooked in loans, short-term loans that they simply could not bear. We had people that were in a group home that had multiple loans that they could not bear. We had young people, we had old people, we had people near bankruptcy. We had people that were on their knees crying. We had people that couldn't simply bear this high-rate, triple-digit kind of baggage that is put on them. There needs to be oversight. There needs to be care for people. But there needs to be alternatives, not just the ones that have no regulation or minimal regulation or things that we're hearing today. It's all Jim and Danny. No, it's not. I'm on the front lines. I was there. I was with people holding their hands and being beside them. And it ain't so. It ain't good.
Thank you, Mr. Swadley. Lori Phipps.
Hello, I'm Lori Phipps, and I'm manager here at Virginia Cash Advance here in Hampton, Virginia. And our company's a small business headquartered in Missouri, and we operate 2 stores here in Virginia. We offer only payday loans. I've been with the company 9 years, and I can honestly say they're a fantastic company to work for with many employee benefits, and they've been great in helping me provide for my family. There's been a lot of talk about the CFPB making rules for our industry. My company supports regulations that protect our customers, but Virginia had a new regulation that went into effect in 2008 that cost many of our employees their jobs, as well as customers, more harm than good. We had to close 4 stores. We relocated many employees, but also many of them lost their jobs. We devoted much of our time to preparing customers for what was coming, but they didn't understand. They asked why the government was not going to let them get the credit they needed. and why they couldn't take care of their finances on their own timetables rather than made up by legislators. If the CFPB makes a rule that's as strict as Virginia's, it will be devastating for many customers. So I'm asking